Most people grow up believing that money is simply earned, saved, and spent. But history reveals a far more unsettling truth. Many of the individuals who appear wealthy, those with the polished lifestyle, the newest cars, and the curated social media image, are often living close to financial disaster, while the people who seem average, modest, and quiet are the ones building unshakable financial security. It's not luck. It's not high income. It's not privilege, timing, or even opportunity. Financially secured individuals share a set of deeply ingrained traits patterns so consistent across cultures, eras, and economic systems that historians, economists, and behavioral researchers have documented them for more than a century. These traits are subtle, almost invisible, and they only reveal themselves during moments of pressure, moments like financial crashes, market downturns, pandemics, layoffs, or inflation spikes. To understand why these traits matter, we must travel back through financial history, from the Panic of 1907 to the Great Depression to the recessions of the 1970s and the crises of the modern era. Because each of these turning points exposes a mystery. Why do certain individuals survive and even grow stronger during chaos while the majority collapse? And the answer hidden beneath decades of data is that financial security begins long before money enters the picture. It starts with how a person thinks. In the earliest studies of financial resilience, economists noticed something surprising. The people who maintained stability during recessions were not always the highest earners. Instead, they were the ones who understood money as a system rather than a scoreboard. This becomes the first major trait of financially secure individuals. Most people respond to money emotionally, celebrating promotions, stressing over bills, and making choices based on impulse or pressure. But financially secure people think in cause and effect. If expenses scale with income, instability follows. If lifestyle remains steady despite increased earnings, compounding begins. If debt is used strategically rather than emotionally, it becomes leverage instead of burden. This systems-based mindset allowed families to survive the crashes of the early 1900s and continues to allow modern workers to navigate unpredictable job markets. But the mindset is only the beginning. It sets the stage for the second trait that consistently appears across every major economic era: prioritizing predictability over luxury. During the crash of 1929, researchers noticed that families who maintained modest lifestyles, even when they could afford extravagance, were exponentially more likely to keep their homes and businesses. The same pattern repeated during the 2008 recession and the 2020 pandemic. Predictability, not income, created safety. This obsession with predictability leads to a strengthening stage: the rise. Here, financially secure individuals begin building structures that seem boring to outsiders but are powerful during crises. They stabilize housing costs, manage transportation responsibly, use debt intentionally rather than emotionally, and set consistent spending boundaries. That consistency becomes a quiet force that compounds over time. But the true separation between the secure and insecure appears during the breaking point during financial disasters. Whether in the 1973 oil crisis or the 2008 financial meltdown, secure individuals consistently had one advantage: buffers. Buffers are more than emergency funds. They include cash reserves, flexible schedules, manageable debt levels, and diverse skills. Buffers turn a crisis into an opportunity. When markets fall, secured individuals buy instead of panics. When layoffs occur, they negotiate better opportunities instead of scrambling for survival. When interest rates rise, they adjust rather than collapse. This third trait, building buffers before they're needed, is the dividing line between financial fragility and financial durability. But even buffers cannot save someone who reacts emotionally to financial volatility. This brings us to the fourth trait of financially secure individuals: emotional neutrality about money. While most people experience panic during downturns, excitement during booms, and impulse-driven behaviors during stress, secure individuals practice detachment. They don't feel rich after a bonus. They feel stable. They don't feel poor during a market drop. They feel prepared. They don't chase status purchases or emotional spending. This neutrality allows them to stay consistent, regardless of circumstances, a trait that modern behavioral economists consider one of the rarest psychological advantages. Emotional neutrality is why financially secure individuals recover faster after setbacks. It shields them from the destructive cycles of fear and impulse that cause most people to spend too quickly, invest too late, or react too aggressively. But perhaps the most underestimated trait is the one modern people struggle with the most. The fifth and most powerful trait is long-term thinking, specifically decade-based thinking. Financially secure individuals don't build wealth through dramatic decisions. They build it through compounding systems that operate quietly for years. Their habits compound, their savings compound, their skills compound, and their relationships compound. This long-term perspective is why they avoid the failed fixes that trap most people: get-rich-quick schemes, hyper-aggressive investment strategies, sudden frugality, or emotional attempt to catch up overnight. They understand that financial security is not achieved quickly. It is engineered patiently. And because their decisions are based on decades rather than days, they avoid the burnout and inconsistency that destroy most financial plans. As a result, even in modern times where economic pressures seem unprecedented, the same patterns hold true. Financially secure individuals rise during crises because they think structurally, act predictably, and stay neutral under pressure. Modern data proves these traits still matter, despite higher incomes than ever before. Over 60% of high-income households live paycheck to paycheck, and consumer spending on status items is at a historical high. Credit card debt has crossed $1.1 trillion, while more than half the population has less than $1,000 in savings. The patterns of financial fragility from the 1920s, 1950s, and 1970s are repeating in the 2020s, largely because most people still operate emotionally and react. Yet financially secure individuals, regardless of income level, consistently exhibit the same 5 behaviors: systems thinking, predictable living, buffer building, emotional neutrality, and decade-long planning. These traits shield them from inflation, protect them from job loss, and position them to take advantage of opportunities when others are panicking. It's not luck, it's structure, and it's repeatable. So what can the viewer take away? First, true financial security begins with stability, not income. If your lifestyle inflates with every pay raise, long-term security becomes impossible. Second, even small buffers create massive psychological and financial power. They turn emergencies into manageable events rather than disasters. Third, systems outperform goals, automate savings, create routines, set decision rules, and remove emotional decision-making from your financial life. The warning is clear. The biggest threat today is not inflation or recession, but financial drift, moving through life without intention, reacting to emergencies instead of anticipating them. Financially secure individuals avoid drift at all costs. If you found this breakdown helpful and you want more videos that explore financial psychology, long-term strategy, and modern economic patterns, make sure to subscribe and comment below which trait you want to strengthen first. Until the next video, stay intentional, stay structured, and let time compound your decisions.